Hey guys, welcome back to Sandy Cats. About a year ago, I made a video on what I thought would be the perfect bumper for a 4Runner. And since that video, I can tell you straight up, I was wrong. But I have also become known as, for some reason, the 4Runner bumper guy, because a lot of people ask me what bumper to get and ask me for recommendations and advice. I have researched a lot of bumpers since then. I've walked up, felt, tested, and did the tire bump test on them to see which bumpers are actually solid. And I have some of those bumpers that I'm going to show you guys today. So that's what this video is going to be about. Me telling you what I think now is, I guess, the perfect 4Runner bumper. I think the most solid one that you can get, or the solid ones you can get, why they're solid, and which ones that a lot of people have that, you know, we tested and weren't as solid. So we'll kind of just get right into it. So the first one I'm going to discuss is this bumper on this 4Runner. This 4Runner is extremely unique, as most of you guys already know. It is built to take a beating. It is heavy as hell, and I think it's around 7,600 pounds right now. And I just got out of the Rubicon Trail on this 4Runner a couple of days ago, made it through without significant damage. So this bumper that I was trying to build for the 4Runner was a year-long project, and actually like 3 or 4 months of actual work to get a solid bumper on. I built 2 bumpers from scratch, and I trashed 2 bumpers from scratch because I wasn't happy with them. And I ended up getting an Outgear Solutions bumper and modifying it to my needs. And I'm going to talk to you about this. This is a highly customized way to go. This is something that you're going to have to fab one way or another, most likely. But I'm going to show you the most overbuilt system that you could probably find, and then I'm going to show you plug-and-play systems out there. So why is this one unique? It is heavy. It holds a lot of weight. This tire carrier swing out is single arm. That's already something that a lot of people shouldn't probably get, as a single arm tire carrier. The reason for that is twofold. Number one is that swing out is like 4 or 5 feet. So if I'm parked on streets and there's a car behind me, chances are I'm not opening that up. Even when I'm parked at a supermarket parking lot and I swing it out all the way, I'm worried that some car is gonna, I'm taking up a lot of space with the swing out. That's number one. Number two is now I have a lot of weight on the swing out. But as you can see, it's not dropping because of the way we built and designed it. I wanted a swing out for one single reason, and it is for a humongous table. That's all I wanted. This is the kitchen, so I wanted this table, and that's why I have a single swing out. I don't know how much weight is on this thing. The high lift, 37, trasharoo in the back, or trash bag in the back. We'll talk about that in another video. 2.5 gallons of diesel behind the trash bag. This hot water heater, and 10 gallons of water. So I'm assuming what? A couple of 100 pounds easy on the swing out. That's a lot of weight, and it barely shakes, honestly. It shakes, but it barely shakes, and that's not the bumper shaking, that's the suspension on the rig shaking, honestly. So this is customized because of a couple of little points that I changed on Outgear's bumper. We'll discuss that in a second. And that's why I can take this weight, because you're gonna ask. The next thing is the way this closes. It actually functions. For some that holds this much weight, for it to be able to just slide in, not having to really lift it, that's unique. Next is the handle. So this handle is made by E3, and it is titanium or whatever, and it is extremely solid. I have full trust in this handle, and that's important because a lot of people use similar handles, and I've heard of the tip of a handle breaking before, and you slam the bumper too hard, and then you don't have a handle, and your tire is swinging around. So now I'm going to tell you what to look for in a solid bumper, what I believe you should look for at least. It's this hinge. That's important, that it has 2 points of attachments that are pretty tall and separate from each other. What I'm seeing on bumpers is when they make a system like this and they attach it very low, over here only, that causes shake. Might be wrong, but that's what I just see. This is Outgear Solutions bumper. It is customized. And the reason why it's customized is because I added these wings. And what I ended up doing is pretty simple. I hammered this steel factory, whatever, up, body. It's empty here. It's like sectioned off from the inside of the vehicle anyway, so it's useless, empty space in essence. Hammered it up, and I welded another tube here to the frame. This can also be, you know, you could make a plate there and bolt it into a frame. I didn't care, I welded it. But that is really the magic sauce here that is keeping everything super, super solid. So I'm running 37s. I do have a little bit of rub. Just I got back from the Rubicon, first time I really had serious rub, was on that trail. But you know, that's all built really tight and it's working. And the gap here is pretty small. Usually I recommend a bigger gap, but the truth is it's working for now, so I'm happy with it. So what's important to me on this bumper is the abuse that it takes. Some people don't like this bottom bracket for cosmetics, and that's why they go to another brand. However, it's super functional with taking abuse. That's what I've noticed. As you can see, I've beat it up and zero issues, has not deformed at all yet. And I don't think it will. And what you will see over here is I'm gonna kind of explain one of the situations that I had is I came off that tire and I needed departure angle more. I hit right here, my aluminum anti-rock holds fine, held up fine. Then I hit over here really hard. Then I hit here. And that survived without any issues, and I'm shocked. But what I'm most shocked about is right here. I literally put the entire weight of the vehicle for like a millisecond right over here on the hinging mechanism. And there's no issue with loss of performance. It still functions just like it should, which was the most surprising thing to me, to be honest with you. So this handle, made by E3, can really take a big beating. 100% believer in the handle now, 100% believer in Outgear Solutions bumper because, you know, even these bolts, everything just held the weight really well. This held the weight. I mean, this thing is rock solid. And the only modification that I made, like I said, was welding that tube up, hammering that back and welding the tube up. And I get why Outgear can't really sell it that way because most people aren't gonna be hammering that up. But if you do get this bumper and you decide to go super heavy weight like I did, then I recommend going that route as well. So with all this insane weight on this one tire carrier, I'm running fast in the desert, I'm rock rolling, and it's holding up. I mean, I'm trying as hard as I could to shake this thing, bro. And I mean, it's barely shaking, it's insane. So this shakiness part, like there's almost no shake, it's crazy. That's Outgear system. That's none of the modifications I made. That's the way the hinge works with the latch and the whole mechanism is built. This thing is solid. What I can tell you is this though. I got a chance to play around with some Outgear bumpers, and the ones that are single seem to be a little bit more solid than the ones that are dual. Barely. That's number one. Number two is, if you end up getting any bumper, it's not Outgear, it's any single bumper that you get that doesn't have really good tube attachment points to the frame out there, the bumper is gonna go like this a little bit if you had way too much weight. That's just the name of the game. So keep that in mind. So this is the bumper that started that first YouTube video, the Expedition 1 rear bumper. And I said for me, it was the best option at the time for a plug and play option at least. And it still is, kind of. But we'll show you some issues. And the reason why is because these handles are fantastic. I love these handles. If you have a dual swing out, bumper, grabbing those handles are gonna be much easier than grabbing two little handles over here. I don't know how to explain that, but it just is. Because when you're grabbing these two little handles and you're carrying something and you have your water here and your spare tire here, it becomes more difficult. So I still love these handles. I think they're badass, very functional, great design handles. The other thing I still love about this bumper is I don't have to worry. Like I could throw things around and spin, like, you know, kind of push this stuff around, and it's rock solid from that perspective. My Outgear bumper isn't, but that's not because of Outgear, it's because I put a single swing arm with like 250 pounds of weight on it. And that weight is really where I'm a little bit cautious about throwing it around. The Outgear bumpers that I've seen with dual swing outs, the other companies' bumpers that I've seen with dual swing outs, they're pretty functional. No issues on anything in comparison to this, other than, you know, just grabbing this handle is really, really nice versus anything else when you have handles like this. The E3 handles are fantastic. My single swing arm with the E3 handle is so easy to use that, you know, anybody, I could teach them in 10 seconds how to use it. But when they're here, it's just so much more, you know, a pain in the butt to get to versus these. So now the issues. And I know that you guys remember, I gave everything the punch test. And my Expedition 1 got the punch test. And I pretty much said it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was pretty solid. I was wrong. I would say that we're still running this on the GX with zero issues, zero breaks. And I think that we will never have issues on the GX. And this bumper can last for 10 years on the GX without an issue. But we don't ride the GX hard, we baby it. I thought I wasn't riding this, my wife's 4Runner hard, but I guess I do ride it hard. And when you ride it hard, things break. And what I ended up breaking on this bumper was this right here. That's what went first. I ended up having to weld these tabs on to reinforce the cracked welds, and it holds. Then this section right here started cracking, and I ended up welding these tabs on, and it holds. Then this cracked right here. So what ended up happening was everything here cracked about, like, I don't know, 8 months ago or so. I told Expedition 1, they said they're working on a new design. They're gonna send it to me ASAP. They never sent it to me. And then this happened about a month or so ago. And then they finally sent me the new designed one as a replacement. However, those cracks caused this, which kind of is a bummer. It was oscillating so much that it just, bam, started hitting the tailgate and permanently damaged the tailgate. Now the new one that we just installed 5 minutes ago, it's reinforced here with these tabs. And it's also, like, these tabs are bigger here as well. This whole thing now is different, and it's gusseted and stronger here. And they put a reinforcement gusset here. So this theoretically is built stronger. However, nothing has been done here, which makes me scared that this is still gonna one day break on me. So I do plan on probably reinforcing this a little bit myself. So I had a chance to see a C4 bumper. I mean, I've wheeled with them before, but I never took the video and analyzed them in person. But this thing is rock solid. The welds are great. Feels super sturdy. The connection points, which I'm trying to show right now, it's boxed. I'll talk about that more later. The handle, now they use E3, I believe, but the handle is really easy to, you know, utilize. It just pulls right out with one hand. And those plastic things they use, it's genius actually, because it allows it to smoothly and more easily go back in. The hinge feels solid. Everything feels solid, and this was a full size, like, single swing out, and it felt really, really stable. The hinge is double sheared and welded everywhere, and the tire doesn't shake at all. So this is basically what you're looking for. So I had a chance to look at a CBI rear bumper, and I'll say it looks pretty good. Feels very, very solid and very rugged. Something that I would be comfortable abusing. But honestly, it's the handle. I really did not like the way that handle operates. And it's something that I just wouldn't want to, like, have my wife constantly open it up and close it every time she goes to a grocery store. So this bumper is kind of out for me. So this is a brute force rear bumper, and it's kind of like in the middle of everything for me. For a full size bumper, it looks very solid. The handles are good. They work well. They just, as you can see, these type of handles on a double swing out are a little bit more of a pain to get to. You'll see it in a second. The hinges aren't like double sheared on top. It's very similar to my Expedition 1 bumper, honestly, just much cheaper. So it's a really good contender if that's kind of the direction you're trying to go for. Same shape as Expedition 1 too. So here's the Nguyen Works bumper, and this bumper is the exact opposite of what I look for, to be honest with you. It is beautiful. It is really form over function with this bumper. I think that this is the most sleekest looking bumper on the market, to be honest with you. And it's super lightweight, but there are heavy compromises there. This handle I was barely able to open because it was adjusted specifically to carry 10 gallons of water. Without the 10 gallons of water, I really struggled. You could see it's not lining up right now. I really struggled to open and close it. Again, that's because I'm assuming it's lightweight. The other side was easy to open and close because it's adjusted for the tire, so it actually functioned as, you know, as I would expect it to. And then I'm gonna just let you listen to the audio here. I've never seen a bumper shake as bad as this bumper, honestly. And the reinforcements in the bottom, flat plate, so something else to consider as well. So here's an Outgear with a single tire carrier. This is newly installed, so you can see the line here is really well made now. This has the new latch too by E3. This thing is solid, and I'll give you a tire shake test over here, kind of. I'll try. So I tried to show you guys as many bumpers as possible, but I'm limited. I'm in Southern California, so it's whatever I can get my hands on. But I really was hoping to kind of just start making you think about what to look for. And I'll explain what I look for and what I learned over the last year. The first thing to me is a double sheared hinge. This isn't double sheared because there's no second attachment point over here, even though it's attached two places down there. But something like this, I'm seeing that it causes way more oscillating movement eventually. And then if you have a double sheared system, the question is, how is that attached? Is it, you know, attached to 1 point or 2 points? Things to consider. The second thing to consider is the wings. The part that goes near the tire, the furthest part of the bumper, how it attaches to the frame. Some bumpers don't attach at all to the frame. Some bumpers use a flat plate. And if they're using a flat plate, it is useless because the movement that you care about is up and down. So if it's flat, it's still gonna allow that up and down movement. They should be using a boxed design or a well-done tube design like I did, I guess. But that's number 2. Number 3 is the hinges. I'm always looking at the hinges. I love these hinges. I'm loving the new E3 hinges. That's about it so far. 4, weight, you can get that online. 5, price, you can get that online. So I kind of want to talk about, if somebody asks me what's the best bumper, it's hard for me to tell them. I can tell you what I think is the best all-around bumper, and I'll tell you that at the end, but I want to go through a few bumpers that I think are rock solid for different purposes. The first one's going to be the C4 bumper. I think the C4 bumper is probably the most heavy-duty plug-and-play bolt-on bumper you can buy, bar none. It is heavy though, so that's number 1. It's heavy. It's very big. The approach angle isn't as good as my Outgear, at least. And I think it's the best bumper for somebody that A, wants to pay a lot, but B, is going to do a lot of overlanding and carry a ton of weight on the back. And when I say a ton, I mean more than even I'm carrying on my green 4Runner. I can tell you that I went out with a guy, a YouTuber, Jailbreak Overland, great guy by the way, and he had a C4 bumper and I was shocked. He had a 37-inch tire on there. He had a ton of things on there. I mean, like, he had the whole kitchen sink on his rear bumper. And we were on a trail, a rocky trail, and the thing is just solid. It's barely moving. I was surprised. The C4 bumper is a very, very solid bumper and design, and you do get what you pay for. It's expensive, but it's also heavy. Then you have somebody that's never gonna really wheel, right? You're gonna be mostly campsites, whatever. And I still like the C4, not the C4, the Expedition 1. I don't like it on my wife's rig anymore because I'm wheeling it, but I do like it on the GX. The handles, they're just easy. They're very easy to use, and just the way the swing yard just works, it's just so clean and simple, and any 5-year-old can figure out how to use it. So this does have its place still. It's just not on somebody that's gonna go more than 10, 15 miles an hour off-road. And then the third one is going to be Outgear Solutions. So Outgear Solutions, I think, is kind of the perfect all-around middle ground bumper for a very reasonable price. And I don't think that, you know, they're not gouging us, in essence, number one. Number two is, it is solid. It's solid. Everything feels super solid on it. It is much, I don't say much, but it's substantially lighter than this bumper and the C4 bumper, at least mine is. I think about like 80 to 100 pounds lighter. The departure angles are better on my Outgear, and I love it all around. I mean, like, I love it, to be honest with you. And the reason why I keep saying is because my bumper, the way I custom fabbed it, I think is the best thing for me, and I'm so stoked, and I can't think of anything better. Now, if I would have just bought that bumper and added all that crazy weight on and wheeled as hard as I wheel without reinforcing it, I think I wouldn't be a happy camper. So that's something to consider as well. That bumper, I would say, should be able to handle everything this bumper can handle, basically, which is a tire, maybe a small table, 10 gallons of water, without having to worry about any reinforcement. But if you're gonna go crazy weight like I did, put a 37 on there with bead locks, which is just insane weight, then you really wanna start thinking about, if you go Outgear, reinforcing it. Otherwise, you're gonna wanna go C4. To almost everybody that asks, I recommend Outgear. Especially for the price. They are definitely bar none the best bumper out there. They're rock solid, and they will last forever. I'm so confident in it that I actually welded it to my frame because I'm not worried about having the hinge or anything go bad or start shaking or make noise. But like I said, if you just want plug and play bumper that is plated, because those looks matter to you, you have the Expedition 1 or you have the C4 if you're going heavy and you're willing to put on the very, very heavy coils. So that's pretty much that. I mean, my first choice, honestly, is always going to be Outgear because it's more function. Outgear, I feel like, from a functional perspective, is the most functional bumper out there because of its departure angles, better than this or the C4 or anybody else. Because of the way it's designed and built, it's built to take a beating and last forever. Except if you got all the weight, reinforce it. The other shout out I would make would be to Backwoods Adventure. I've seen their bumper in person. I didn't record it at the time, but it looked solid to me. It looked pretty solid to me. So if you're on the East Coast and you want, support somebody on the East Coast, Backwoods looked like the way to go. So I hope this video was what you guys were asking me, because I get questions on rear bumpers every day at this point, and I just tried to shove as much info for you guys out there as possible so you guys can make your own decision. And hit me up if you have any more questions. Thank you.